Hello and welcome. Today's podcast is sponsored by Royalty Roofing, your commercial and residential roofing experts. The host today, my name is Mel Scaturo with Royalty Roofing. I do the business development for them. Our guests today are Kristi Andersen, Vice President with CBRE, and Tracy Fisher, Campaign Development Manager with Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
You got it.
Welcome, ladies.
LLS.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
From here on out, LLS.
LLS. LLS. I have that down here now as initials. So I thought we would just go ahead and start and maybe have each of you just say a little bit about yourselves and kind of how you got connected.
Sure.
I mean, I know you've been in it for a little bit, but this is the first year that you're a co-chair.
It is.
Okay.
So Kristi Andersen with CBRE, that's my day job. I'm in commercial brokerage. I also have a public relations consulting company. So I've been in the business and the community for a really long time. And outside of work, I have two teenagers that I chase around and they're in sports. But outside of that, I do love to get involved in the community. So I've sat on a number of boards in Omaha and lent my time to a variety of organizations. Most of them have to do with women and children's issues, just because it's close to my heart, right? But a few years ago, my friend Tracy here, and I've known Tracy for quite a while, actually, and we have a lot of mutual friends. She said, do you want to come to coffee with me and talk to me about this organization? And I said, sure. And I thought, I don't really have time to get involved.
And she doesn't. Yeah,
I know,
she
but in
didn't.
the back of your head, you're going, I know she's going to ask me something.
Yes.
And I know I'm going to say yes.
Because I can't say no to good people and good causes.
Right.
It's a problem that I have. So she and a couple of others who are friends of mine that I've known that have been on the executive board with LLS for a long time, all roped me into joining. And so that was a few years ago. And when I learned about the mission and what LLS does, it was easy to say yes to.
Right.
They do obviously a lot of research and a lot for blood cancer patients around the country and around the globe. But one of the things that I thought was most interesting and just really touched my heart was the work that they do for children.
Yes.
And they have a program called Dare to Dream that really raises funds to do some groundbreaking research for kids. What I didn't know, and as a mom this touched me, is that a lot of kiddos, when they are diagnosed with cancer, they are given adult-sized treatments.
Right.
And if they survive their cancer, they are met with lifelong challenges because they were given treatment that is for adults. And so one of the things that LLS is doing is really trying to change that. And so when I heard about that, and Tracy was involved, and a couple of other friends were involved, I said, absolutely, I'll get involved. So the last couple of years, I was just involved as a volunteer, did some fundraising, but just really kind of
On the surface.
on the surface. And then she came to me and she said, I want you to co-chair the event this year. And I thought, my gosh,
Are you crazy woman?
I got a kid graduating from high school. I got,
I promise I'm going to let her off the hook next year.
and she said, well, I want you to do it with your best friend and great friend, Van Dieb. And I thought, all right, fine.
Perfect.
The two of us will have a great time together. So I'm co-chairing the event on September 25th.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
You just said so much.
It's like,
I mean,
nothing
that's
else to add.
amazing. We're done. Tracy Fisher, and I work for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, LLS. I've been there a little over 2.5 years, and I actually have worked in the nonprofit sector for most of my adult life from Omaha, like Kristi. Lots of connections in this area. Shout out to Omaha, best community in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
So giving, so engaged. People just want to, rally around great causes. So that makes my job in development in the nonprofit sector very, very easy. But so working for LLS, I remember when I was interviewing for the job, I thought, I don't know that I have any direct mission connection. I don't know that I know anyone who has battled blood cancer, is a survivor of a blood cancer. And the moment that I took the job and then, started kind of sharing the news, I was so wrong.
Yeah, you actually did.
Yeah, so many people. There are folks who are blood cancer survivors that I would call friends, maybe not best friends or really close friends, but friends. And I had no idea they were a survivor of a blood cancer. So I manage the big event called Light the Night. That's what Kristi and Van are co-chairing this year. And when I started in late 2022, I'm the only staff person for LLS in Nebraska. So I knew from that moment that it was going to be crucial to build this amazing team around me. And so people like Kristi, who are just out in the community doing amazing things, and just so willing to rally behind a great cause. I knew you were busy, and there's other folks on the leadership committee like Kristi who have they're making their footprint in a lot of different areas. And so I'm always like, you know what? Kristi has great connections in media. And so that was something that nobody else on the committee
Right.
did. So there are just gifts and strengths that everybody brings. And I guess one of my priorities was no matter what time you have, I just want to make sure that your experience volunteering at whatever level with LLS is a rewarding one. And don't we just have the best team?
We have so much fun.
Oh my gosh,
It
we have so
sounds
much
like your
fun.
gift is finding others that have that gift to help you grow this.
Yeah. And it
And
didn't
she's
hurt.
really good about connecting the right people together because there's what, about 20 of us that are
Yeah.
on the executive leadership board.
Yeah.
But each one of us has a different talent and skill set and different connections in the
Right.
community. So what's just the best about Tracy is that she has that special gift of
Right.
putting all of that together.
Yes.
And she really does get us all excited about doing the good work.
Yeah.
And so then it makes it fun. And it's
Right.
not a chore and it doesn't feel like it's,
Right.
too much time away from something else.
I mean, we're blessed.
Yes.
I'm blessed. I always think, I can't believe this is what I'm doing for, as a job. But like you said, Kristi, LLS is an amazing organization, and they actually have been around for 76 years.
I was just going to
That was
ask you
again
on
kind
a
of
little
news to
background
me.
on it.
That was a little bit. That was news to me.
Yeah.
I had heard of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I actually knew the executive director when they had a state chapter in every state. Post COVID, they went to a regional structure, and so that's kind of why it looks different now. There's still a huge presence in all the communities. And I don't want to brag, but our Light the Night event, there's over 100 across the country every year.
Right.
Ours is the best.
Is
I
it?
mean, I'm
It's
not
really
kidding you.
great. It's
It may
really
not be the biggest, it may not raise the most money, but for the size of this market in the community, the experience I think is unmatched.
Yeah.
It's so magical. So, and I know we'll talk a little bit more about
Yes.
that in a little bit, but
But I think we should do a little background of LLS. Like,
Yeah.
when was this started? And I know there's a reason of why it was started.
absolutely.
And their mission. I mean, whatever you can
bet.
tell me some background
You
on
bet.
those things.
Yep. So LLS was actually started in
Yeah.
1949, I believe. A doctor and his wife who lived in upstate New York had a teenage son, their only child,
Yep.
who was diagnosed with leukemia. In that year, that was basically a terminal diagnosis. There really weren't any types of treatments available. I know whatever was out there, he did go to Mayo, and they did probably some chemotherapy, but he had passed away. And so out of that tragedy and that horrible thing that happened to them, they started a research organization. It was not called the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society at the time, and it was literally focused on research only. That is still by far the biggest mission pillar of LLS since the inception. This is kind of a mind-blowing number to me. LLS has invested $1.8 billion in blood cancer research. And something that both Kristi and I have learned is that many of the treatments and therapies that were created out of research for blood cancer are now being used to treat other types of cancers and even other diseases.
Right.
And every day I'm seeing more and more. It's not something where once a year there's some new therapy. This is like every other week they're posting new things that are out there.
Right.
So somebody said this to me, and I shouldn't even say it on a podcast because it doesn't really sit well with me, but it makes sense. Somebody said there is no better time to have cancer, to be diagnosed with cancer. The survival rates for some blood cancers, years ago were like, especially for kiddos.
Right.
And leukemia is the most common pediatric cancer. So 40% of pediatric cancers are leukemias. the ALL is one of the main types of leukemias in children, and it used to have a 5% survival rate, and now it's over 90%.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. And so again, these are things that every day, new treatments, new therapies, new revolutionary ways of fighting cancer are happening.
Right.
It's hard sometimes, though, just to talk about research because you don't feel like it's tangible. You can't touch it. There's many like programs, financial support groups, just different programs from the moment of diagnosis that somebody can call, and there's just a vast amount of resources and tools and programs that are available to patients through LLS, and none of them have a fee associated.
But LLS isn't just for children.
No,
Okay.
no, but we are very proud of our Dare to Dream
Yes.
project because, again, like Kristi was saying, and this is all types of cancers in kids, they're being treated with adult treatments.
Yeah.
And sometimes, obviously, that you can treat the cancer and they go into remission, but they have horrific side effects. Some of the side effects
Or worse.
are worse. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they're
I mean,
worse.
you hate to say that, but it's
Right,
true.
right,
It's like
but it's
your
true.
cancer's in remission, but
Yeah.
these are the side effects of how you got into remission.
Right.
And you have to live with those.
Right.
Some of the research is just incredible. You know, we have a gentleman who is on our board who, and he was a firefighter, and then he went through a lot of health challenges and was diagnosed with cancer, and then was able to get some of the groundbreaking research
Yeah.
and that sort of. Yeah, I mean, you know his story better than
Yeah.
I do, but there are people right here in our community that are dealing with this every single day, adults and children. And when you get involved in something like this, you start to hear those stories
And meet the people.
and meet the people, and that makes such a difference. And it really does make you want to continue to be involved and do what you can to support people like Nick,
Yes.
who's on our board,
Yeah.
who is personally impacted, and others.
Yeah. And sometimes, like to your point, you love to rally around things that deal with children. And that's because your mom heart is,
Oh, yeah.
is tugged at, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of that same way for me. It's until I actually meet folks who have been, I mean, these are people that we live next door to and go to church with, and our kids, play sports with their kids. These are real people.
Oh, yeah.
And so I want to do whatever I can. And LLS, amazing organization. So again, the patient support advocacy is a huge thing, and we could have a whole podcast now on some of the things that are happening and the need for advocacy to make sure that no matter who you are, where you live, how much money you make, if you're diagnosed with blood cancer, you have the exact same access to the treatments, the clinical trials, to be able to get to your treatment. Just all those things come into play. So when you hear you have cancer or your child has cancer, that is literally your focus. You become, it's like your
Yes.
life goes into a vacuum.
Yep.
And you cannot deal with, maybe you can, but it's very challenging to deal with other things in your life. So to have an organization that will walk alongside you and support you throughout that journey, I think is invaluable. So,
And not feeling those rejections from, I hate to be the person that's insurance companies and
Right.
putting those roadblocks in front of you.
right.
Because they do. I mean, a lot of times
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
difficult to get an answer back in a timely manner.
Yeah.
And then, just the paperwork you have to go through.
Well, the financial implications, and that was
Oh my
another thing
gosh.
that I learned being involved, how broke you go with a
fast.
cancer diagnosis.
Right.
That
Yes.
I mean, some of the numbers that they provide on what it costs families are mind-boggling.
Well, and it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the person that is going through it, my sister just passed recently from cancer.
Oh, I'm
And
so sorry
thank
about
you.
that.
She had, the job situation, you use up your PTO. Her company was very, very generous with her and very helpful, but she was blessed with that. And she had a huge support, our family. I was down there every weekend, her daughter, but that is not necessarily
not
a
the
common
case.
thing.
Yeah, that's not always
So
the
having those resources where I don't have somebody at home and you're by yourself and you need somebody to go and do your laundry for you or your dishes for you or get your groceries for you.
I mean, it can be something that small.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because people are like, well, I'm sorry, you have that. It's like, well, son, can you cook for me?
Right, right. I mean, truly.
Or do something, go to the
Yeah.
store. Exactly.
I mean, sometimes it can be that one little thing that just in a moment of being low can just make a huge difference.
Oh, yeah, the
mean, a huge
emotional toll it
difference.
takes
Yeah.
on you
Yeah,
and your family.
Yeah.
I mean, many a times, I cry going to see her and get it out of my system.
Right.
So when I'm there, I was always trying to be very positive around her and things like that.
course.
So
I mean, God bless that she had such a great support,
she did, yes, and her
friends,
yeah.
family, yeah. But like you were saying, that is not always the
No,
case.
it's not, unfortunately.
And even just understanding, I think, the diagnosis and some people don't even know what they should be asking.
they're
Do you know what I
overwhelmed.
mean? You're overwhelmed. I mean,
Yeah.
just I can't imagine. And I'm glad
Right.
that I
I
haven't
mean,
had
she
to.
had buddies go to the doctor appointments with her so that somebody else could hear what was happening.
Yeah.
Because she, especially when you first hear stage 4 of anything, and
right.
you just sort of stop. Your world stops, and so everything else that doctor said is, I have no idea what he said.
just
Blah,
noise.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having that other person in the room, I recorded many things because I don't have a good memory.
But, I mean, that's awesome. Or
Yes.
just having somebody like taking notes to make. Did we hear the same thing? Yeah. Am I supposed to follow up? What am I supposed to?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just all those little nuances. I mean, it's just so scary.
It is, it is.
Yeah.
Well, you ladies, I know, are doing a wonderful job. So light the night. Let's talk
Yes.
about that.
It's a really, really cool event. So this year it'll take place on September 25th. It's my husband's birthday. I don't know.
Oh, Ryan.
I said, happy
We're gonna throw the
birthday, you're
biggest
coming
party.
to an event.
We're gonna sing to him from the stage.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
I always say that. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
You'll be fine.
yeah. But when I first went to it, because I didn't really know what it was either until a
Right.
couple of years ago, and I went, and it is so powerful. Last year we had 1,300 people who attended, and it's more like a family festival. So in the early in the evening, you've got families and kids and people running around, and there's activities for the kids, and then it gets dark, and every person that's there has a lantern. So you can imagine and visualize 1,300 people carrying a lantern, and each lantern has a significance. And Tracy, the white lantern, right, is carried by survivors
Yep.
and patients.
Survivors.
The gold lantern is in memory of someone who has passed. So if you're carrying a gold lantern, it's a memory. And then the red lantern is carried by people who are just supporting the cause. But imagine when it gets dark and everyone is walking around Stinson Park with those lanterns all lit up. It gives you chills and goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got that,
And so I encourage anybody just to come, and whether they're involved as a sponsor or they have a team that they put together and they fundraise, it doesn't matter. They could just show up. It's a free event, and I would encourage anybody to do it because. And then, as part of the program, you do get to meet some of the folks that are impacted and hear some of those stories. And then after everything's over, there's a great fireworks show too. So it's just a great event. So last year we had 1,300 people.
I know we were so pumped.
This year we're expecting 1,500. That's our
Okay.
goal.
Yep.
Last year we raised $500,000.
Right? Yeah, you are so. I don't even know why I'm
And
here.
this
is
year we're gonna
amazing.
raise $550,000
or more.
or more.
More.
So,
It's 600.
That's right.
But there, like I said, there's a million ways to get involved, and,
Yeah.
and Tracy, you can run through some of those. But come to the event first and foremost. But
100%.
Yeah.
Come to the event because if you don't understand what the event is, we feel like it's an experience, right? So it's categorized as a walk, which I don't think it should be because the walk is like the shortest portion of the evening,
Yeah.
but it is beautiful because it's dark by the time we do our walking. But like Kristi said, it's at Stinson Park in Exarban Village, which sets up so beautifully for this particular event. And it is packed, jam-packed with all sorts of activities and fun things for every age. I mean, your kids, grandkids are going to have a blast, all the way up to grandma and grandpa.
When does
If
it
you have
start?
a friendly dog, you can bring a friendly dog on a leash. 5:30 p.m.
Okay.
So what we call the family festival, and Van Deeb is our festival MC. So just that alone is reason to come
Yeah,
to the event.
yes.
He will crack a few jokes, maybe mispronounce some sponsors' names.
Yes.
We
we really don't know what he's going to say when he's going to
That's why
say
it's so
it.
exciting.
we give him a
Yes.
script, but he's not.
But he
he's
doesn't
not one
stick
for
to
staying
it.
on the script.
But
So
that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like a big family reunion. I mean, it's people from all walks of life. We have companies and schools and people who have formed fundraising teams. Just honestly, it's such a great thing. Some of these teams they're kind of rallying around a survivor or
Yeah.
somebody going through treatment, and we call those our friends and family teams. And then we have a lot of corporate teams. We have school teams. I mean, it's just a plethora of all sorts of fun people. And some folks have been coming for years, and some folks are brand new to the
Yeah.
event. But it's a family festival that, like Kristi said, all sorts of fun things going on. We have tons of food trucks. If you raise a certain amount of money, then you would get VIP access. We have a big tent with free food and bev. And so
Okay.
if somebody raises $1,000, then they get access to that for two.
Okay.
But it's just super duper fun. So the family festival goes on, and then everybody's kind of asked to come to the big grassy area, and people bring their lawn chairs
Yeah.
and their picnic blankets. And like if you're with a team, you usually kind of designate your area that you're all going to meet back
Right,
at.
right.
And then we do what I always call, it's called the opening ceremony. I call it the lantern glow ceremony because that's really what it's all about. So everybody, like Kristi said, has a lantern, but they're all off. They're all turned off. And now it's starting to get dark out. And so we do kind of I think it's kind of a magical lantern glow ceremony where the MC, who is Zach Williamson from KMTV,
Okay.
he will walk us through when to turn on your lantern, depending on what color, and it'll coordinate with a story that represents each of
Oh.
those colors. Honest to God.
I would probably start crying
Oh,
immediately.
oh,
It's okay.
yeah.
Most people do. Yeah.
Most people do. I'm not kidding you. My favorite part of the evening is when the white lanterns are lit. And so everybody carrying a white lantern. And we probably had close to 200. So picture all these white lanterns coming to the center, and there's little teeny kids, like little 2-year-olds carrying them, and their mom or dad is having to follow them. Here's this little teeny survivor. And they're probably just like, what? They just want to light their lanterns. That's really what the
Yeah.
kids want to do. And then they all light their lantern at the same time, and one of those big, huge spotlights goes up. It's just unbelievable. And we call that the survivor circle. So that's like just the whole crowd is surrounding them, lifting them up, loving on them. It's beautiful.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. And just a minute ago, I just want to make sure that we cover everything.
Yes,
You talked
yes.
about sponsorship.
Yes.
So you can do a family and friends type of sponsorship. Tell me all about the different
Okay.
ways that they can help
So
out.
anyone can get involved. It can be a company that wants to get involved. It can be an individual. It can be a person that just wants to grab their friends and family and come as a team. So sponsorship would be like a company that wants to get some sponsorship benefits. So they can sponsor the actual event. Those sponsorships start at $2,500 and go all the way up to the presenting sponsor, which is $50,000.
Okay.
And there's all sorts of different marketing perks and different things that
Right.
go along with each of those levels. We would still take anybody that wants to sponsor, but we're kind of wrapping up that. So,
Yes.
and we've already reached our sponsorship budget. Woohoo!
Hey!
And again, we have wonderful returning sponsors, and then every year the leadership committee, we do this big kind of leadership launch happy hour where we invite folks that are maybe interested in getting involved and share a little bit more about the event and LLS's mission, and we usually get some great new sponsors out of that. So if anybody wants to sponsor, that's wonderful, but we are kind of focusing now on just making sure that everybody knows about the event.
Right, right.
Because again, like Kristi said, if you want to fundraise, fantastic. It is a fundraising event. Equally important is anybody that just needs to come and be supported, and
Yep.
and maybe it's somebody who's been recently diagnosed that just wants to meet a community of people who have maybe been through something similar to them, or whatever the case may be. Anybody that wants to come, we want to make sure that you are there. You can register. Well, we want you to register, and here's why. It's free to register. There's no fundraising requirement, but that's how I know how many lanterns to have and what
right.
color lantern you'll be carrying.
Yes.
You mentioned your sister had passed away, so if you came, and we want you to come,
Yeah.
you would probably carry a gold lantern like me in memory of your sister, and I lost my father to cancer. So when you register, you would put in there, what is your connection? What color lantern do you want? And then if you do decide to fundraise, you can earn little incentives. The T-shirt, you could become the bright light, the $1,000 and get the VIP and a different thing. So again, those are all things that when you're registering, if you decide you want to fundraise, fantastic. If not, not a big deal. But we always say,
Yeah.
if you're coming, bring everybody.
Yeah.
Bring your family, because here is one thing that I promise. If you come down to Light the Night, you will come back the next year and you'll bring more people, because it just is that special and that
bet.
magical.
And where can they find all of that information?
I was just going to say that.
Yep.
See, this is why you should just sit here.
Yes. So just you can Google Light the Night.
Yep.
And it will pop up with Light the Night Omaha's website. But if you Google and for some weird reason it doesn't, then you can just go to lightthenight.org.
Okay.
So that's the national.
Yep.
Yep, that's
Yep.
the
And then
national
just
Light the
find
Night.
Omaha and
Yep,
there's
and then just type in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay. No, that sounds
Stinson
great.
Park, 25th of September. It is a Thursday evening. We've always done ours on a Thursday. It's wonderful because it's wrapped up.
Yeah.
The fireworks are wrapped up and you're heading to your car at 8:45.
And you're not competing with high school football on Friday
Right.
nights and all the
or
other
other,
things.
yeah, or all the fall.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That
Just
makes
husbands' birthdays and that's
yeah
it.
just yeah,
Look, honey, we're all here. So.
exactly.
For you.
And this is
Oh,
what
it's
year
so
for you
fun.
guys to do it?
So I believe that they have been doing Light the Night in Omaha for 18, 19 years.
Okay.
There used to be an event in Lincoln and in Nebraska, or well, in Lincoln and in Omaha, and they've been doing it at Stinson Park since I think 2018. So they've been doing it there for quite a while.
So you said there used to be, so does Lincoln has the Light the Night?
Nope,
or
now
you
it's
combined
just
it?
in Omaha and it's combined. And
Okay.
we do have quite a few, well, we have folks that even come from further west than Lincoln. And then we also obviously serve all of Iowa that's real close. So we have tons of people that, some of our leadership committee live in Iowa. So it is a community event and we want everyone to come. It's amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And lastly, what if somebody wants to just volunteer to help you?
We love event day volunteers. So we have some amazing companies that volunteer, like they send a group of volunteers. That's fantastic. But then we get a lot of one-offs, like just
Yeah.
somebody, my daughter and I want to come and volunteer at an event.
Yes.
So I don't know how this happens every year, but we do it and we get through it. We set up, have the event and tear down all in the same day. So we have volunteer shifts for the 25th of September, starting in the morning, all the way to helping tear down the event. So if somebody wants to volunteer, they can go to the exact same website, lightthenight.org, search for Omaha, and it will have my contact information. Or they can just go on lls.org's website, and there's a kind of a main tab at the top that says volunteer. If you click on that and put what you're interested in, you'll find your way to me.
Okay.
Yeah, we love volunteers as well. Yep.
Absolutely.
Anything else? I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I know she's thinking, what
Well,
else
there's
did I
just-
forget? What did I forget?
I mean, if people, one thing that we're always trying to find new people who want to get more involved. And I'm
Yes.
sure you might have a lot of people that watch this that do have a direct mission connection, but maybe have never, ever done anything or partnered with LLS or been to Light the Night. I wish I could keep people like Kristi forever, but
Yeah.
At some
need-
point she wants
yep,
to
you gotta
probably
rotate
move
some
on to
people
something
in.
else. We'll still be friends, but so we're always looking for folks who want to get engaged, not only just coming to the event, but maybe even at a higher level, a
Yep,
little
sure.
more of an elevated role. Again, reach out to me, reach out to Kristi. You have our information, so they could
do.
probably reach out to you and you
Yep.
could share our emails with them. And we would love to meet you for coffee and just talk a little bit about what you're interested in. And it's a great way for maybe young professionals if they want to kind of get their feet wet with meeting seasoned do-gooders in the community like Kristi.
Well, and if you work at a place and your company is looking for organizations to get involved in,
Yeah.
at CBRE we have something called CBRE Cares, where we get involved with volunteer activities and in different ways throughout the year with
Yes.
different organizations. And so I imagine there's a lot of other companies
yeah.
that do the same thing. So this is a great one, and we have room at the table certainly for other representatives from different companies in our group.
Even a roofing company.
Absolutely.
Oh, 100%.
All are
100%.
welcome.
All are
yeah.
welcome.
And whether you're serving on a board or not, you can also just be an executive challenger and come to the happy hours, which are a lot of fun.
They are going to be fun.
And,
They are we have
yep.
three really, but two left. Yes.
So lots of ways to get involved.
Awesome.
And that's a great point. So there's so many companies like CBRE. I'm sure you guys do the
Yep,
same thing
we
where,
do.
you say to your employees and your staff, hey, we're going to do this walk or we're going to do this event, as a company. It's fun sometimes, depending on who you work with, to get together outside of work. But I'm telling you, and there's many amazing walks. I am not saying that these walks are not great. They are. But this is different. This feel and look of this particular event is different. I don't know if it's the lanterns, if it's the evening, if whatever it is a really fun way to get your coworkers and their families
Well, and-
together outside of work.
In all honesty, I mean, I can't think of anybody that has not been touched in one way or another by cancer, whether it's their friend themselves, their other family members, their coworkers. It's just not possible.
It's not possible.
Unfortunately, it's just
Unfortunately,
not
right,
possible.
right.
I mean, it's unfortunately in my family,
Yeah,
quite a bit, but
right.
I 100% agree. I'm going to go.
Good.
Yay!
And so
Yay!
I'm going. That's
I will
for
send
sure.
you the link
Okay.
to sign up.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
when you just said that, I just want to also say that while LLS obviously is a blood cancer research organization, Light the Night is for, our survivor circle is not just blood cancer survivors. It is survivors of all types of cancer. So again, back to your point, everyone's been touched by cancer.
Everybody, absolutely. Well, thank you both for coming
thank you
over
so
and
much. My
sharing that
gosh.
information. And
Yes.
I mean, you got me all excited. I'm
Oh,
going to
good.
go do something and
Oh, it's so
be
fun.
part of it.
It is so fun. And again, reach out to Kristi or I, and we can get you connected in whatever way you want.
September 25th.
You got it.
Light the night.
Thanks
got
for
it.
the
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Yes, thank you guys so
All right.
much.